Hey everybody, welcome back. Woo-hoo-hoo! Man, we got some hot topics today. We got Titan Farms, AwesomeX, Element280 launches. They're going to be coming up. TitanX hyper deflation is in progress, really, but it's about to really kick in the next week or two. It's going to be a lot of fun. 369 payouts on the 30th of October is getting closer, less than 3 weeks away. And of course, X28 potentially November. That is going to be omni-chain. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So it looks like TitanX is going to be taking over Ethereum and then going multi-chain. It is going to be absolutely epic, folks, and you guys are all here at the right time, at the right place. And of course, the bull market really hasn't even kicked in. We're waiting for Bitcoin to make its run to 9,800K, and then of course on to 150, 180K. It is going to be absolutely crazy, the values that are going to be entering crypto. It's going to be so much fun. We're obviously going to cover TitanX first. That's what we're covering today. We're going to then cover the stock market, crypto, and Pulsechain in the second half of the show. So hopefully you guys enjoy that format. We're just going to switch things around, depending on what is moving the most. So hope you guys enjoying the content there. We are streaming obviously on 3 channels: Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. Over 10,500 subscribers. I really do appreciate everyone's support. If you haven't joined our Discord link is in the video description. Only $5 a month, and of course you get great value in there, great community, and lots of info. And we have the only one with the help desk. So there's a help desk in there, very valuable for a lot of people new to crypto. And we have all the links to everything you need as well. So it's kind of cool. The other thing, of course, is we have Strategy Club. That's a private club, and of course that is covering multi-chain. Things like TitanX, like X1 chain, like Dog on Runes, things like that, and of course Pulsechain as well. So that's really good value, $35 a month. Join up, use the link in the video description. Maybe Wookie will post his one as well. Big shout out to David who joined yesterday, and a couple other recent joinees. I probably should make a list and do you guys a shout out. So big shout out to everybody. All right, let's have a look at it. We've got Wookie in the house. It's time to do moon maths. It is indeed. We're going to do a bit of moon maths today, that's for sure. We got Jerry Torres in the house there. Hey, Jerry, hope you're doing well. Get into the chat there, folks. Make it lively. There's been some really cool live streams overnight with Jake Sharp, the founder of TitanX, with Crypto Kindness. Yesterday, he did one with Ali, which was amazing as well. So big shout out to Ali there from the Blaze team, doing a great job. And, yeah, really enjoying it. Who else? Mo's been out and about around there. Rags to Riches did a stream with Element280 with the dude who we had on about a week ago. One of the best devs in town, that's for sure, doing some great tokenomics as well. So really enjoying what we're seeing coming out here. Titan Farms, of course, absolutely amazing. They were down for an hour or two, or a couple of hours. Actually, it was really a couple of hours yesterday. I think it was due to RPC issues. Looks like they got on top of that, and the farm front end is back up. That can always cause a little bit of alarm at the time. Time for liftoff, says Brennan. Absolutely time for liftoff, that's for sure. Pretty crazy. All right, let's get into it without further ado. Let's jump into TitanX, have a look at the numbers, get in the chat there, folks. So get your stuff in there. If you've got any alpha, drop it in the chat as well. Remember, we are focused on a TitanX to start off with the first half of the show, and then we're going to get into the stock market, crypto market, and Pulsechain for the second half of the show. So that's kind of what we're running at the moment. All right, let's see. Well, we're at the moment, we've got best performer in the last 24 hours is Hydra, doing pretty well there. TitanX also is number 2, down 3% for 24 hours. But hey, look, everything is looking good for TitanX, and we're at back at 5 zeros. So this is really in that quiet. This is the time really before we make that next big move. So you got to definitely pick it up. We've got inflation going down. Sorry, we're getting deflation already. We're down about 2.9 trillion TitanX in the last 24 hours. So it's been going down every day for the last nine days, despite new inflation. And new inflation is tapering off. It's just not too long, a couple of weeks, and it's going to be gone burger pretty much. I mean, it's going to be infinitesimal after that. So we've got 501,000 for TitanX. Then we've got Janus on Pulsechain down 5.3%. Remember, there's going to be quite a lot of crossover with some of the teams like Janus and, of course, Pulsar. And there's going to be many more other projects, no doubt, crossing over between Ethereum and Pulsechain. So it's a win-win, right? And there's a lot of crossover community, so a win-win there too. And you see at least, 3 to 5 Pulsechain, maybe even more, half a dozen Pulsechain influencers also covering TitanX as well, right? So there's a lot of crossover between the communities, just like there is with X1 and Zen and things like that. I think people pretty much are familiar with that. So Hyper at the moment is down, is number 4, the best one, down 7% though. And that's been doing really well. Hyper is a real sleeper, guys. And of course, the Matrix there from Dean, Mike Dean, who's pretty much the big data guy, is going to be built on Hyper. I think it's going to be massive for that, so don't sleep on that. Also, the claiming ladder is, I think, fairly friendly, especially in the short term. But we're going to see some cool things happening with that because it's on Titan Farms as well. Legend X is number 5 there. And then we've got Dragon X at number 6. And the ratio of Dragon X has been recovering a little bit. Yeah, 10.1. So it was below 10. We're going to check that out too. That's a nice little sleeper to pick up on Dragon X. And of course, there's 2 farms in the Titan farm. So it's got 2 farms there. There's the favored son, as it were, the king to rule them all, or the One Ring to rule them all. We've got Vault there, of course, which is going to go do some massive hyperinflation as well. We're looking really good as Vault. Huge roadmap there for the Vault, what they call the Vault vision there from Stevie, and that's going to be pretty epic too. So you got Dragon X and the Vault Inferno, kind of all similar type of fixed supplies, and going to get burned the heck out of them. That's pretty much it. Helios there is down 11% there, number 8. Pulsar number 9 there. And of course, we're waiting a bit further information around Pulsar there, so we'll keep a look on that. Baby Dragon X, of course, on Dragon, down 17% at the moment. And Blaze there, down number 11, down 21%. Inferno, down 22%. And of course, Inferno will be relying a lot more on all the rest of the protocols that are launching on it, like Alien X. There's going to be many projects launching on Inferno. JakeX, the meme coin, is down 25% at the moment. And a Tink token from the Titan farm is down 36%. But of course, it's at $9.96. It's still holding up pretty well. Was just over $10 before the live stream, so it was about $10.20. And there, we're going to check that out. That's kind of where we are on the map. Let's quickly have a look at Titan Hub because we've obviously got 2 launches coming up. So let's have a look at this. It's a beautiful dashboard. It's by Mike Dean and, of course, his associate. So kind of cool. Let's have a look upcoming. So AwesomeX is going to be launching. So 14 hours and 51 minutes to go for this. I'm going to post TitanX up here if you want to check out all the details of this. So let's post that in the house. You can check that out. Let's see, Superman Crypto there. Bam. There it is, TitanX Hub. So definitely that is where you can check out all the details, all the projects that are building on TitanX. So simple way of looking at TitanX, it is kind of the medium exchange. You need TitanX for all these second layer protocols and third layer protocols, fourth layer protocols. So that's pretty much what AwesomeX is going to be. It's going to be like Element280 is going to be like a fourth layer project. So really exciting. And yeah, so TitanX itself is going to be going deflationary, hyper deflationary. Already is deflationary, going hyper deflationary. And of course, the second layers are helping along that process, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so that is the link. So we've got AwesomeX there coming out in 14 hours and 51 minutes. How well will it do? It's had quite a lot of good coverage. And of course, it comes out of the Blaze team there. And of course, it's got the socials there. It's got the white paper. It's got the Telegram group and the X account, or Birdie there. So you can check out the socials on that. Countdown is in 14 hours and 50 minutes. Let's have a quick look at that AwesomeX project. There's a few YouTube videos floating around with the founder there, so you can check that out as well on YouTube. Let's have a look here. So we got there's going to be 152 weekly minting cycle. So that's going to be ticking away there. So the ratio is going to be 1 TitanX to 2.88 WX to start off with it. That's the initial ratio. The minting rate reduction each week is 2.8%. The final ratio will be 1 TitanX to 0.08 WX. So it's obviously a big deal there, over 125 weeks. So it is a fairly long sort of auction process to take into account, but it is going down by 2.8% per week. You can see the chart here as well. So let's zoom in up on that. Actually, let's make that a bit bigger. You can see the chart here. That's how much you're going to get at the beginning. It's going to be going down. Pretty nice curve, actually, isn't it? A decreased curve of 2.8% over 125 weeks there. So, that's over 2 years, isn't it? So that is that's where the pool is. It's going to obviously deflationary over time. AWX costs 35 more to mint over 125 weeks. So it's got the AW token cost there, 35 times more. You can see the value increase there. Value of AWX relative to TitanX over time. So that is the expected value increase there. You do need TitanX to go into it. Like I said, TitanX is the medium of exchange. So yeah, week 1, 2.8. So basically week 1's obviously the best. And you can check out some of the tokenomics there as well. So it's got some moon math in there. So Wookie will like that. Liquidity pool, obviously, it's going to be AWX or DragonX LP formed. Will it question mark? So the first 50 billion TitanX. Now remember this number, because we're going to compare this to Element280. The first 50 billion TitanX into the protocol buys DragonX at a market rate and pairs it up with 50 billion AwesomeX tokens. Okay, so it's going to be a DragonX TitanX LP there. It's important. The first it uses TitanX to buy DragonX and set up that pool. The LP is locked forever, and it's going to be a V3 pool. That's very important as well. Now remember that as well when we talk about Element280. That's the next project, right? That's going to be launching because it's V3. The V3 is pretty much the standard for the TitanX ecosystem because it helps burn the fees, right? And that's really cool. Benefits of minting TitanX pairing with DragonX. Obviously, there's a lot of alignment. There's the economic synergy, user engagement. Now there is a TitanX allocation. So let's have a quick look at that. So this is obviously the main sort of thing. So 70% of the TitanX will buy and burn AwesomeX. So it's a pretty good, strong buy and burn. I think people are pretty happy with that. There's a counter argument with going too high sometimes. Just depends. So pretty cool. It will buy DragonX. So it's going to buy pressure on DragonX, and then it's going to buy and burn Awesome over time. So the AwesomeX will become more scarce. 12% goes straight to the DragonX vault. Obviously, there's another project that's boosting DragonX. That's why DragonX is you can pick up the dip right now. It's only 10 to 1 ratio from TitanX to DragonX. So 12% goes to DragonX vault. And so this is going into the staking. Now, remember this point as well. This is very important. This is going to the staking, and that means DragonX will be able to make bigger stakes and get more of that 369 payout and so forth. So it's pretty big there. 3.5% will buy and burn DragonX directly. So not only is it building up the staking of DragonX, remember DragonX is the super whale on TitanX. It's going to get a huge payout, about $2.7 million on the 30th of this month. But 3.5% will also buy and burn DragonX directly. So this is really friendly to DragonX. And so that's DragonX is going to be pulled out. Now remember, this is going to be paired with DragonX. So DragonX goes up. The AwesomeX contributes to that. That also means that AwesomeX, which is paired to DragonX, goes up with that leverage play, all things equal on the ratio. 3.5% will fund the AwesomeX launchpad. Now, this is the one I had a bit of problem with at the beginning, but listening to the AMA, it does appear that they will have projects coming through there. So that's kind of cool. I'm not so bad with that now. But this is still, you're talking about how do you get that reinforcing the system? Well, you've got to bring these projects in, fairly soon as well. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe some teams don't have funds, don't have funds to set up the contract before they get a share of the protocol fees. Remember the standard for TitanX is up to 8% for meritocracy. So meritocracy meaning basically the merit of their work. They get paid for it if they have a successful project, and they get more obviously based on volume. So the idea of this is maybe people have good ideas, they don't really have the funds. Maybe they prove their case and they can get their launchpad. Ideally, of course, you'd want to support the AwesomeX ecosystem as well as the TitanX ecosystem, obviously to make it a win-win for that that contribution. 3% is going to go to the treasury, and two main goals of the treasury will be to benefit the overall ecosystem. There's many ways that they may do that, and then of course 8% is going to the team. So they've taken the full meritocracy grant there as well for setting this project up. So that is a bit of a summary of where it's all going as well. With the TitanX, you can see a nice little chart there. I obviously got buy and burn details in here as well. So that's the play there. So 3% of total TitanX is used each day from Sunday to Wednesday, 3% per day. So they've really tapered that over the week. 7% is used on Thursday, 12% is used on Friday, and 12% on Saturday. So very similar to what we see with Inferno to some degree. A little bit different on percentages, but same idea. Buy and burn occurs in intervals throughout the day. And the first week, of course, it's going to be on there. So starts Sunday at noon. And so buy and burn starts 24 hours after the first month. Remember that. So that's probably pretty key. Intervals will be publicly callable every 7.5 minutes. And of course, that equals 192 intervals every day. So that's a buy and burn every day for that at these different percentages, right? Depending on what day it is. I think that's it on that one. What else? We're going to go Awesome Launchpad. This is the sort of innovative aspect to it. And this is the one I was most critical about, but the AMA seems to be quieting those fears. So there are two main goals there, obviously, to booster. They will need to pair with AWX as well, so that adds more layers onto AwesomeX there, which layers more onto DragonX and TitanX ultimately. So that's kind of cool. All right, what else? Fair launch, of course. What else there? What else there? Buy, build on TitanX, and the audits and contracts that will be there. I think they should be posted already, shouldn't they? There is the Dragon Vaults. There is some audits there. So you can go through the audits if you want to look at the security side of things. And then the team official links down the bottom here as well. You can find out more information from the teams. The team is Crypto Awesome, aka Dave. Bad Sports is Josh, and Ali Kane as well. So we've had Josh on before on the show. Ali Kane is pretty awesome. I really like Ali Kane there as well. And awesome there, Dave is in the play. So that is the next one coming up for TitanX, 14 hours and 43 minutes until that launches. Pretty exciting. And of course, the next one after that is the second of the 3 DeFis. I categorize it as DeFi because it's basically going to be like a big investment unit trust. It's going to go and buy everything in the old ecosystem. So all these, pretty much the vast majority of these projects that are listed, it will be buying. And that's pretty exciting. Now, it won't include Ouroboros because, as you know, Ouroboros has deferred their launch. They were going to be launching as well, but it won't include that because they're going to be launching in 1 day and 13 hours time for Element280. Now, in the future, the dude has talked about potentially forking Element280 and then broadening the amount of projects. Because obviously, we're going to have more projects launching. You can see many other projects down here which are pretty good quality that are going to be launching. And so they may end up forking Element280 later in the future to incorporate the evolution or the growth of the TitanX ecosystem. So I think that's pretty exciting too. And obviously just credit everybody with the appropriate tokens and everything. And it just sets everything back up again. So pretty excited about this. This potentially could be huge. It is the easiest way, as you say, to buy everything instead of targeting. It's good for people that are good, know what they're doing. Crypto, perhaps they can target particular cryptos they want to do. But Element280 is kind of like a mutual fund index thing. It's going to be buying all the different tokens at different weightings. So it won't be equal weightings for everything. It might have a bit more DragonX in it and that sort of stuff. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We'll find out how that goes. But that is launching in 1 day and 13 hours. Now, Rags to Riches just did an interview with Element280 and with the dude, and that is looking really good. Remember, this is associated to Helios and Janus, 2 of the projects that are already alive. So that's Helios there and Janus as well, which is not on this list. But Janus is, sub one of Hydra there, but is on Pulsechain. So as Pulsechain does well, Janus will do well also. And Element280, 1 day and 13 hours. I really do like this. This is the second of the big 3 DeFis. And DeFi in the sense that it's going to be one big giant buyer and, of course, buying and burning as well with the Element280. And, of course, this could get really big. How much TitanX is going to go in here? No, definitely got a possibility of trillions of TitanX going in there. It's going to be interesting to see that. Let's have a quick look at the white paper. Obviously, they've got Telegram and the X account as well. Let's have a quick look at that. And of course, you can find out a lot more on Rag to Riches interview with that. And if you're in Strategy Club, all these links have been posted in Strategy Club, so you can see them there. Pretty cool. So Element280, Element there is an ERC20 token bonded with all of the TitanX ecosystem tokens. So not just one. Just like we saw with AwesomeX, it's going to be bonded with the DragonX. Well, this is going to be bonded with all the peers, right? It's going to set up about 14 different peers when it launches, and it's going to be absolutely epic to see that. So looking forward to it. Tokens through the Element Socials is going to be Element DragonX, Element Helios, Element Hyper, etc. By being bonded with all the ecosystem, the market value of Element is a leverage play on all the ecosystem tokens combined. That's why I call it a DeFi, because it's going to be a big buyer. It's a big unit fund, basically, index fund, and you can go buy all these, right? It's a weighted index fund, arguably, but that's the play. So yeah, they're going to have 2 things. There's going to be a token, and there's going to be NFT, right? The NFT is what people are going to be getting. Be after. So the NFT collection is backed by Element tokens and can be burned at any time to redeem the Element tokens. So we've already seen this kind of idea in the what's the project? I've forgotten the name. We've already seen this idea in LegendX. So LegendX is already live. We've already seen this idea there. By simply holding the NFT in your wallet, you are eligible to claim Element tokens from the rewards pool. There's no locking up or staking as well. So just like the Titan Farms, there's no lockup or staking. And this is really, I think, a really cool innovation. People want to get the high value. They want to be able to sell it in the bull market. And they're not really locked in. So I think this is really where a lot of good value is going in crypto. What I call DeFi 3.0, which I think really TitanX ecosystem is the next DeFi innovation. Is really getting close to the holy grail. Really is pretty awesome. rewards from the NFTs. So if sold on the market, the new user will be able to claim any unclaimed rewards they have accrued. So it's pretty nice. And we'll probably see this trading on the Legend X here as well. So far, Legend X, you get Legend X NFT trading, you get Dragon X NFTs. It's also going to have this Element280 NFTs as well. So this connection between the tokens and the NFTs is really, really cool to see. So that's kind of the play there. Tokenomics there. Mint phase is going to be 28 days. So that's important. So 28 days. And as you guys know, it's pretty much starting in 1 day and 13 hours. So it's pretty cool. We're going to have all those 14 LP pairs set up pretty much straight away out of the gate. That's going to be pretty cool. Mint cost is 1 TitanX per 1 element token. Pretty neat. And of course, compared that to the AwesomeX we just saw. So it was 1 to 2.8, was it? 1 to 2, I think it was that. Kind of cool. The element tokens minted are claimable 48 hours after from the timestamp. So the earlier you get in, the quicker you're going to get your token claims, but they will be 2 days later when you actually can get them. So in first gets their tokens first, but it is you're getting your tokens first 48 hours later or 2 days later after the mint process there. There's going to be a cap supply once the mint phase ends. So in 28 days, that's it. That's the end of the inflation. So whereas AwesomeX was the 125-week auction, this is pretty much auction. Yeah, this is pretty much going to be, or minting phase, I should say. This is pretty much going to be over in 28 days, which are pretty fast. I do like the fast minting phase. Honestly, I definitely prefer those, which is pretty cool. I think we've got a couple more comments in the chat there. We've got X Factor and House. Titan Farms making DeFi fun again. They certainly are, and that's completely innovative. We're going to look at that in a minute. We got John join the strategy club today. Absolutely join up today. We look forward to seeing you in the club. And we've got Hex in American House. What's up? Good to see you. And also Hex Vader. Howdy, folks. Good to see Hex Vader in house. All right. So this is really gets fun here. So there's going to be buy and sell tax, right? There's going to be a 16% buy, sell, and transfer tax. It's very important during mint phase. So here's the difference. So typically the standard for a TitanX ecosystem is V3 pools, right? Because you can buy and burn the fees. But in here, these pools will be over a V2 pool, right? So because you can have taxes on V2s, not three on a V3 pool. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So and it's going to be full spread, right? So that's going to be neat too. We see that in TitanX farms, right? All the full spread across the pool, but it's in V3 instead. So it reduces, if you're especially in the right pairs, the impermanent loss aspects to the farming. So 16% buy, sell, and transfer tax during the mint phase, 12.8% NFT rewards, pretty awesome, 1.6% element. So out of these 60%, this just during the minting phases of the first 28 days, the NFT rewards will be real juicy, basically. 1.6% will go to the element burn, so it's going to burn the supply as well. And then 1.2% will go to the Genesis, very modest Genesis amount, but it will be on volume, so that will pick up too, so pretty nice. 0.4% will go to Helios. So if you've got Helios at the moment, that treasury is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We know the dude has big plans for getting the treasury bigger and bigger and bigger over time, and he has a big roadmap of projects that includes building on X28. So I'm very excited about that from the dude. So this guy is a prolific builder and building really great stuff, and it's just starting to really mature now. After the mint phase, after the 28 days, it's going to be a 4% buy, sell, and transfer tax. 2.4% will go to NFT rewards, so still pretty attractive there. And I've got to go remember that all this time, while these projects are launching, TitanX is going to go hyper deflationary. So all the stuff's on a hyper deflationary. Everything has got these buy and burns. There's more buy and burns than you can imagine over this whole ecosystem. And I'm talking about the whole of TitanX ecosystem, including Titan Farms now. The volumes are getting bigger. This thing is, more people coming in. This thing is taking over Ethereum, and it will take over multi-chains once Omni-chain X28 comes. So you got to see the big picture as well as this project. So it's pretty interesting. 0.8% element burn there, and 0.6% Genesis contributing, and 0.2% Helios treasury. So Helios getting a lot more, and of course over days after day after day, it really adds up, doesn't it? And we already see how Flux had benefited Helios. So it's kind of key. So why would someone want to mint tokens? Everyone will have their own strategies. Why some may decide NFTs as a store of value for long-term holdings as a good play, others may not. In short, by only minting tokens and non-NFT, users avoid a 3% burn fee attached to crushing an NFT for their tokens to get back their tokens. So remember, with the NFT, when you do cash it in, there will be a 3% burn. But with minting tokens, it won't be. So you can just speculate on the tokens themselves and the price performance Remember, they will be facing a burn there, and of course underpinned by TitanX hyperdeflation. However, token holders do not earn rewards. So if you don't holding tokens, no rewards, but you don't have that 3% fee. So there's pros and cons there for some people. Now the NFT specs there. Let's have a quick look at those. So like I say, 28-day mint phase. NFTs immediately available to users on for trade and earn element rewards, unlike the token, which you had a 48-day, 48 hours, wasn't it? NFT immediately available for users to trade and earn element rewards. Like I say, that's going to be pretty exciting. Cap supply once mint phase ends in 28 days. Deflationary supply is users burn NFTs to claim elements. So there might be, let's say, 1,000 NFTs out, but as people start burning to claim their fees, it could go down to 900, down to 800. So the implied asset value for the NFT could go up dramatically with those fees that you're earning on all those reflection tokens in the V2 pools, and of course over 14 pools, all adding up. So this could really get pretty valuable, and of course you'd probably see that perform pretty well on the old LegendX platform as well, where they're trading NFTs like DragonX and Element in the LegendX themselves. So pretty cool. Let's have a look at some of their breakdowns. Now this is an aspect I really like. So you got these legendaries, different type of NFTs. Now they're different because they're based on the NFT cost and also the multiplier reward. So legendary here, let's have a look at that. So legendary is 10 billion. You're going to get a standard legendary, and of course it will have 10 billion element backing, and also that's how much tokens that are in it. And of course, reward multiplier will be 100x there. So really big upside on the rewards as a share of all those benefits. Imagine people getting rid of their NFTs. That's going to only go up in value, right? Then you got amped. Amped includes a 1 billion TitanX burn. So if you are going in on a big amp one, 1 billion will be burned. So that's contributing to the hyper deflation of TitanX. But your reward multiplier will be boosted by 20x, so you get 120x. So this is a big deal. I think we'll see a lot of people going in here. Like I said, we very good chance we could see trillions going into these NFT mints over 28 days. It's going to be really cool. Now, the other thing is that you don't just go and buy TitanX. You can go and buy Ethereum as well, so you can toggle between. It's not just the TitanX. You can use Ethereum to go in here. It will just basically buy TitanX and do that. The other thing is that it's this 28 days. It's going to cross over the 369 payout into November. In other words, a lot of people coming out with ETH out of those stakes can go into Element280, and that can be a real boost to user uptake for Element280, which remember is basically just buying the whole ecosystem in TitanX ecosystem, but weighted to what might be the most favorable, like DragonX and things like that. You got rare there is 1 billion. That's amps. You got rare basic. And of course, you can see 100 million will be burned on the rare amped. So you might see a lot of people coming in and doing a whole ton of NFTs that are just 1 billion. Maybe they don't have 10 billion. They got like 8 billion. They could go in and just do a whole ton of 1 billion rare amped NFTs. And that's why they could get in there or something like that. So, and then they get the 12x boost there. So I think that's pretty cool. And then you got the common as well. That's only 100 million. So if you're a smaller player, 100 million TitanX right now is reasonably affordable in time. They could get hyper expensive. We're going to be doing 10x in price. It's going to be hyper expensive. So that's the play that you get a 1.2x multiplier there. So pretty well done there. All FTs can be minted with ETH and equivalent US dollar value of TitanX. Note that the AMP versions have the same mint cost and element backing. There is an additional burn cost though, and the increased reward multiplier and earnings. So those are the benefits there, cost and benefits. The reward pool, NFT holders will be able to claim element tokens at any time. As the reward pool fills up, your portion of the rewards is equal to the total reward multiplier of your NFTs combined, then divided by the global multiplier. Example, you own a rare 10x and a legendary amped 120x. Your total multipliers is 10x plus 120x, 130x. If the global multiplier for all NFTs in circulation combined is 13,000x, and your percentage of the pool is calculated as 130x divided by 13,000x, or basically 1% of the pool. If the reward pool has 10,000 element in it, then you get 1% portion claimable as 100 element tokens. That's kind of the idea there. Now, obviously, NFT backing, burn to claim. You can burn your NFTs, but you'll get a 3% tax on doing that. But you obviously got the rewards there. 3% NFT burn tax breakdown. Obviously, 2.4% of that's going to go to NFT rewards during the mint phase. Be interesting to see we do get NFT burns during the mint phase. That'd be pretty crazy. But you can see the allocation there. After the mint, of course, 1.8% goes to NFT rewards. So if people are burning the NFTs, well, the rewards go back to the NFT holders, and they can claim that. So it's kind of pretty cool. Last man standing kind of thing, almost. Not quite, but it'll be fun to see this play out. Why would someone want to mint NFT over tokens? By minting NFT, a user will earn rewards for element token sales transactions. Means users not only uses the NFT as a store of value for the Element tokens that back the NFT, but also has the ability to increase their holding of Element tokens from rewards. So pretty neat. And they got the reward pool here. Let's quickly go through that. Obviously, we've covered the taxes. That's going to feed the rewards. The TitanX distribution. Let's quick look at that. Now, obviously, when it first sets up, we saw that AwesomeX had 50 billion TitanX to set up its LP pool with DragonX. But here, it's the first 200 billion TitanX will be used to create initial LPs distributed across all the LPs. Remember, it's going to do about 14 of them with set percentages, right? So that's some of them are going to have bigger weightings than others. After LPs, 100% goes to buy the ecosystem tokens. So the big buy comes on. So you can imagine this could have a huge impact on the charts right now. So this is what the charts look at like at the moment. We already see on the 6 hourly that we're getting a lot of big move here on the 6 hourly. We already see the hourly here. We're getting lots of moves here on the hourly as well. So pretty interesting. What's it going to happen? Of course, when this launches in 1 day and 13 hours, it's going to be pretty fun, folks. I said this ecosystem is about to absolutely explode. Hyperdeflation and TitanX, and then all these projects launching. It is pretty crazy. And of course, you've seen how good Titan Farms is. We're going to look at that in a minute. So all these different pools will be set up with all these different projects. TitanX, Hyper, obviously Helios, DragonX, etc. Blaze, Inferno. It's going to be pretty fun. Fault. It's going to be pretty fun to see those set up. And of course, the LP creation phase there. There's the steps in here. So 90%, 180 billion TitanX buys ecosystems tokens at set percentages, split into 5 equal buys. One-time mint of 180 billion element tokens. LP pairs are created. And of course, 6% of TitanX is sent to Genesis, 4% TitanX is sent to Helios. That's very important. So we'll be watching that. Helios keeps winning, right? Keeps winning, hashtag, out of this. So it's really increasing the value of Helios treasury. Buy and burn event. This is very, very important. Each ecosystem pool in TitanX has TitanX waiting to be used to buy and burn. When a burn is triggered, it does the following: buy ecosystem tokens with TitanX, 90% burn ecosystem token 10%, except with TitanX, it gets sent to the Helios treasury, and buy and burn element 80%. So that's going to be awesome to see that. Distributed ecosystem token to Genesis and Helios as well, looking pretty good. Now, the one thing about this, of course, it's going to route through the pairs, right? So it's going to be, buy and then a double buy and burn ultimately of elements. So I think elements going to do pretty well out of that. And then, of course, contracts are coming soon. So element token, NFT, vault, and buy and burn, those are the 4 contracts, and the audits will be posted too. I know they haven't been posted yet, but they'll probably be posted shortly, given the fact that this is launching in 1 day and 13 hours away. So that is kind of an overview of all those white papers. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to go through the farms now, because obviously farms have been crushing, but those 2 projects are about to launch. TitanX is just about to get even more pumpy. That's all we can say. We got Hex and says, AwesomeX coming tomorrow. Who's ready? Who's ready? He says. We're going to find out who's ready. Big Kahuna in the house there. Hey, good to see Big Kahuna and Hex Token channel member represent. Who else has jumped in here? We've got Wookie says a tink. So here we're going to talk about tink. 3 tink in an hour. Is that how much you're making? Man, that's pretty damn good, isn't it? That's pretty good. That's like $30 an hour. That's like a job at where would that'd be a job equivalent at Walmart. I don't know. Are they in $30 an hour? Or is it more like I don't know, pizzeria? I don't know. They can't be that much of the pizzerias really. All right, so kind of cool. Let's jump away. We're getting distracted by working at Walmart or whatever. I don't think we have a Walmart in New Zealand, so there we go. All right, so where are we going? We're going to go to, quickly before we get to Titan Farms, Titan Farms, we're going to go to the inflation. Look at the inflation at the moment on TitanX, because this is a big deal. This is what is the medium of exchange. It's underpinning all the projects, and of course, everything's building on hyper deflation projects. It is crazy. So let's have a look at the total supply at the moment. It has gone below 50 trillion OMG, 49.8 trillion liquid there. Now this is down, get this, 2.9 trillion heading towards 3 trillion in the last 24 hours. That is mind-blowing. It's been doing a lot of those sort of high numbers for days now, 9 days in a row. The total inflation has gone down. This is despite the fact that we still have inflation coming out. It is burning that inflation and probably 5 or 6 times more. It is crazy. Today is our kind of our last big day. We got rid of the trillions a couple of days ago on the 5th. We're now on about the 10th or 11th, and we have got pretty much getting rid of the last big candles. You can see here, this is the candle we're about to finish. This is 815 billion. We'll never see an 815 billion candle again. This is, unless some big whale drops a whole ton of ETH on the low rates, but I don't see that happening. This is amazing. So this is the end. We're just about the end of the day. In 24 minutes, this candle will be finished. We will probably have a bit of flow over because it sort of delays. Some people claim a bit late, but this is essentially finished. 815. We won't see that again. And then the next highest candles we will see in the future, and not for very long, these candles here around 600 billion. These are the two coming up. But we're dropping down. Today's candle, this orange one, is only going to be 525 billion. And the fact that we're burning, the circulating supply is going down by about 3 trillion. This thing's going to be a no-burger. It's going to get knocked out. And so will every other candle here. It's pretty exciting. So let's go a bit further afield. Have a look at the next 30 days. You can see we're going to go down through here. Once we get to this candle here on the 18th of October, this is in about a week's time, we will not have any more candles over half a trillion or 500 billion. This is the last of them. So we've lost the trillion candles on the 5th of October. By the time we get to the 18th, we don't have any half a trillion candles, and then we just keep going down from there. And you can see some days extremely low, even coming up soon. 16th, we've got 110 billion. Man, oh man, we're burning, pretty much 20 to 40 times that probably. This is going to be insane. And of course, as we say, we've got AwesomeX launching pretty much today in this orange candle. And then we pretty much have the big DeFi, the Element280, launching on this gray candle here. There's only 476 billion coming out. It is insane. So I think all up with all the remaining stuff that's coming out that you can see here on the 90 day, I think we've pretty much got something like 8 to 10 trillion, something left to come out, and that's just going to get eaten up at the moment. So we could eat that up in 3 days pretty much. That is about to go bigger. So pretty exciting. And yeah, this inflation is going down very, very fast. We're now down to 24.19% is liquid. Watch this number. This number is going to go dramatically down. I think once we get below 20%, really hyperdeflation really starts to kick in. You move from deflation, strong deflation, I would argue, if not hyperdeflation, very, very quickly. And the price of TitanX will respond to that, right? So we've got hyperdeflation in TitanX. We've got all these projects launching. As you can see, let's go full screen on this. We've got all these projects launching. Pretty exciting. Now, we know that Felix is actually off the board for the time being. Felix is off the board. So let's go put Felix over here. Felix is going back onto the bench. Let's put Felix back onto the bench. And that is Felix at the moment. And so, yeah, Felix is having a bit of a rest. They'll be back, but that's where they are. They told us yesterday that they're off the bench. They're not off the playing field, I should say, and onto the bench. So that's where we're going to put them. But in any case, we have AwesomeX is launching next. Element280 is next after that. Ouroboros is being delayed, so we've delayed that. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. These two projects launching, and here is the price. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Watch this price, man. It is going to do some crazy things. The RSI is overheated, but I think it's going to ignore the RSI. I think the days are counting here. These projects are really big. Element280 is the second of the third big DeFis, and AwesomeX there offering something new on top of TitanX. So pretty awesome. Yeah, big things about to happen here, I'm sure. You can see, obviously, we've got Lotus coming later on. That's going to benefit Vault. And then we've got TitanX coming up as well. That is on the 30th. So we're getting closer and closer to that, which is pretty exciting. Let's scroll down and see how close, because that is looking good. Before we get into Titan Farms next, so we are 20 days away from the 369 payout. That is massive. Let's have a look how big that is. Well, it is now $6 million at the moment. 2,500 Ethereum is coming out in 20 days. Woo-hoo-hoo! So, and we know DragonX is controlling about 41% of that. So it's going to get about $2.7 million. Now, obviously, ETH is coming back a little bit. So if it rebounds, that's going to be absolutely huge as well. I'm very excited about that. Now, everybody is, of course, looking at the mining percentage. It is down to negative 25% on the TitanX miner. Obviously, it's really, if you're thinking from ROI point of view, it's competing with Hyper and Hydra. And, of course, now Titan Farms and other protocols as well. So it's going to be interesting to see when that actually does come and play. As you guys know, we're actually getting pretty close to where that price might actually get profitable. That's like maybe 1,200 or above. So we're getting pretty, 1,200 here. We're currently at 1,000. We just lost 1 0. We're now at 5 zeros on TitanX. That could potentially get profitable, right? So let's see where it goes. At least break even at maybe 1,200 or something like that. So we're not far away from that. Let's see how we go. Anyway, so that is kind of it on that. Looking pretty good. Obviously, the whole ecosystem market cap is growing, so we're up to 182 million. We could be in a couple of weeks' time, we could be at $1 billion. I'm not kidding. This thing could really re-rate really fast to 5x within weeks, and probably, let's be friendly, say 3-4 weeks. That is kind of the play there, and everything is getting bigger, right? Looking pretty cool, which leads us on into the Titan Farms. So let's go there. Now, Titan Farms is obviously down for a couple of days, so we're going to talk about that and go through this. So look at this. Woo! Is that awesome or what? Now, let me have a look here. We've got a couple other comments in the chat. 84 a day. That's pretty awesome, Wookie. What else there? We got Joshua Hill now. Good day, sir. Good to see you, Joshua Hill. Now, if you are in Strategy Club at the moment, we're going to be having a general chat on TitanX ecosystem coming up in about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So if you're in Strategy Club, try and make that chat. We're going to be in the Strategy Club, which is a private chat group in the Discord. Yeah, definitely. If you want to join up for that, join up with the link. Where's Wookie's link gone? Over here somewhere. Join up to Wookie's link and join Strategy Club today. He's one of our moderators, so feel good there. Feel good. Brendan's in house there. I think we should time him out, Super. Oh, you talking about Wookie? Yeah, probably. Probably we should do that. Just teach him a lesson. Utah's in the house there. Yo, peeps. Hey, good to see you, Utah. And of course, Brendan says hyper deflation. I know it's exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. What are you saying there, Wookie? You're saying super. It's $50 New Zealand in every hour of the day, or $1,380 New Zealand. Well done there. Yeah. Well, often people used to talk about the Mexican peso, right? You compare your currency to Mexican peso. Well, New Zealand dollar is like a Mexican peso. So yeah, or is it more like the Indian lira? Is it the Indian lira? I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of cool. There is the Strategy Club link there from Wookie. Nice one. You're very good at posting that, Wookie. Well done. All right, so kind of cool. Let's get into it, folks. Titan Farms, of course. This is what we had 2 days into it. I think that's about right. Let me have a look here. Yeah, almost 2 days because we covered the launch, right? So if you haven't seen the launch, we covered it on this chain. I think pretty much exclusively. I'm not aware anyone else was covering it at a particular time. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think so. And of course, there we were, and it's basically Tink Token launched in about 20 minutes 2 days ago. So it's only been going for just under 2 days. Tink Token. The farms themselves were several hours earlier, but the actual Tink rewards only started at around about about 20 minutes time from where we are now. So 0 UTC time it was. So kind of cool. We're now at around about 24 million. It's moving around, quite volatile with the prices that are of the assets that are in there. But man, this has been amazing. 24 million, and it's currently 77.33% of all liquid pairs that are supported. So this is pretty amazing. Now the pairs we've got, of course, are the core ones, and that's pretty important. Now we know. Now just as a bit of a highlight here, we've got 132,000 Tink in 2 days, and of course 1,000 have been burned so far. So that's pretty exciting. The value of that, of course, is $10,800 of Tink has been burned. That's really accelerated actually in the last day. Pretty cool. In fact, the last half a day, that's accelerated because it's pretty small before that. It's like 100, so it's gone 10x already on the burn. The other thing, of course, is that the Tink burns opened up, right? So we started off with the burn here. We had buy burn Tink with TitanX, so that's already in play. It's got $38,500 in there at the moment, and the reward's definitely gone up. It's $15 now. It was $7 yesterday, and 15 million TitanX, so that's gone up, basically doubled. It's callable every hour. Now, the other thing we've had activated is this, because there's 6 different type of burns, and of course some of them are implicit there, so we'll talk about that. But the burn Tink, this is buy and burn Tink with TitanX. But this is just to burn the Tink from the fees there, and that is being called as well. So every 15 minutes it's callable. It's not really profitable to do it, but when it fills up, it is. And of course that has been called, that has been turned on, and so the total burn has gone up to 1,000. Pretty awesome, $10,800. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. Now, the buy and burn features and the burn features here are absolute game changers. The fee allocation here for all the pools is absolutely incredible. Remember that Tink has a fixed emission every day, and that means that if the funds are if the LP or the liquidity that's in the pools combined is getting bigger, that means the fees are essentially going up pretty linearly with the fees. So you can imagine every $10 million we add, we're adding another set of fees of equivalence. So it just goes up, 10 to 40 to 50 million. It's going to be huge. And the fees, remember, the Tink is fixed in its emission per day. And that means it's going to be really, really easy to start burning off all the Tink that gets created as the pools get bigger. Imagine this $100 million pool. Imagine a $1 billion pool. You see where it's heading. And of course, TitanX is going hyper deflationary. Just think about it. And of course, with the community is growing, everything else. So this is hyper bullish. This is the first time we've seen this. In a farm, this is mega huge. Built onto hyper deflationary assets, expanding liquidity horizontally. At the moment, it's just based on the core pairs. But once they bring in new pairs, and we see that Eric's been talking about what other pairs could go in there. Now, obviously, the logical ones are cross-populated crossover communities. Crossover communities will be people from Pulsechain, people from X1. These are crossover communities into TitanX. So you've got all the synergy there. And so their pairs could come in equivalent. It has to be good volume pairs, right? So it has to be a couple $1 million at least in volume. So you're thinking about Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX. You're talking about, well, particularly Zen once it gets moving against on the low end at the moment. But once X1 chain comes, maybe in November it gets launched, that could be hyper bullish. And of course, it gets the turnover up. So it could be really big there. And of course, there's the community that comes in. The crossover community is really massive. And so that could be really big too, right? So that's how you grow your community. You grow the volumes, you grow the value, you grow the fees, you grow the buy and burn on top of a hyper deflationary token. TitanX is massive. And then, of course, then you go to non-core projects. They have a much smaller volume, but they will grow over time. You can bring them in. Inferno, for example, would be a good example. And then, of course, then you move on to others. Vault's already in here, but you move on to other projects and they are lifting the volumes as well. And then you go to non-core. So non-core would be other big social communities. You're thinking of SHIB and communities like that, the metaverse communities, all this sort of thing could come in with multi-million-dollar volumes, right? Some of them have hundreds of $1 million volumes, they're really massive, so they could come in as well. But just getting a share of that's really bullish. And of course, you attract more of them in with the supercharged Titan farm, which is unique. So it's pretty massive. And then you go to stable coins as well, right? So you go to stable coins like DAI, like USDC, you get the right pairs with high volumes that brings in the big whales, right? And the system really starts to expand. You have to be a little careful how that works, but that's really important. Now remember, there's only 1 tink per second. There's only 12 tinks per block in the chain. So you basically have to reallocate that proportional share. So all the shares in the moment you can see in these different pools. We've got 15.7% is in the DragonX Hydra pool. DragonX TitanX pool has 17%. So imagine allocating these tink per second. So 0.17 tink per second in the DragonX TitanX pool. That would have to be lowered if you're going to bring in new communities, new pools, and that's going to be important. But on the positive side, it's going to bring a lot more liquidity. So this liquidity will go, let's say, from 24 million to 50 million. Let's exclude the fact that TitanX and everything's going up. And of course, we're not talking about price appreciation, but we're just talking about new pools coming in. Let's maybe SHIB came in the SHIB community. And then, of course, the people reach out to the SHIB community. Hey, influence in the SHIB community. Talk about this. We've got these really amazing value you can get on your SHIB. You couldn't earn that over anywhere else, but you can earn it here in the Titan farms. And you can get, a couple 100% return, maybe a couple 1,000% return, whatever it's going to be. And of course, you track that community, you get the influencers in, and you bring in the community, and it just grows. So that's kind of the idea there that you could have, right? Now, obviously, you got to have certain balance there with the amount that you're allocating vis-a-vis of whales and things like that. But you want to bring the whales, you just want to make sure the incentives are managed appropriately. But it could be absolutely massive, right? That's how you expand and grow on a hyper deflationary asset, TitanX, plus with all the buy and burns. This thing is insane, right? And of course, as the liquidity scales, the fees scale. And Jake's talked about essentially, you could burn off with the amount of fees. If it gets big enough, you could burn off all the tokens. Now, the other cool insight that you need to know is that at the moment, we're only on day 2. So the amount of emission per day is a lot, right? You're basically doubling your supply in 2 days. So day 1, you have your initial supply. Day 2, you're basically doubling. But by the time you get to day 10, right, then 1 day supply is only 10%. So instead of it being a doubling, you only 10%. And so on as you go. So actually, every day's inflation is a less of the base amount that was there before, right? So it's pretty awesome. Once you get to 100 days, 1 day's inflation is only just 1% of 100 days. So it flattens out there, and the burning power of all these fees gets bigger and bigger. This thing is a game changer, never been done before, and it's all done through NFT as well. So it's easy to onboard. These are NFTs. You just get a share of that NFT when you put your liquidity in. It's super easy. This is completely game changing. Everything is the first time we've ever seen a farm like this. It is game changing. And of course, it's built on a hyper deflationary TitanX. It's amazing. So what do we got? We've got the burn at the moment. We've got all these burns ticking away. So we talked about the burn tink. We talked about the buy and burn tink. And of course, there are some cool insights there. Now you can find out more information, of course, in the white paper. So you can read the white paper on that. But there are these other burns, right? So meanwhile, you got all the people trading, buying and selling DragonX and Hydra and Hyper, what we call the core. There's all this burn in there, right? This essentially burned $17,000. Hasn't been called yet, but they're essentially burned. So there's 1.6 billion DragonX essentially burned here. Hydra, 223 million Hydra essentially burned. And of course, you got Hyper there, 782 million essentially burned at the moment. So this is just going to grow at dramatic rates, right? So very excited to see that and looking pretty good. Now, let's go back to the farms. So yeah, day 2, we're pretty much at that. And like I say, there was only ever going to be a 31.5 million tink per year, and the fees are going to grow at such a scale that we're going to burn pretty much probably all of it, or at least a little big chunk of it. It's going to be absolutely epic to see that, and we haven't seen this before. Very exciting. Now, if you are in a non-core projects like Vault, then you're obviously going to earn fees as well, right? So you don't just earn the tink token. So the tink yield at the moment is over 1,000%. But you're also going to earn the fees in the as well. So if you go to the earn tab, you'll see that this one's a little different from the others because Vault has got really good volume, so that's why it's included so quickly. And of course, it's had great coverage on Ethereum. But the fees, LP fees, get distributed to liquidity providers, so you get to share the fees. The TitanX is sent to the buy and burn account, and of course, the tink distributed as farming rewards. So you're getting LPs in this farm. You don't get them in the other ones here, right? So we go to let's go to DragonX, TitanX, have a look at the earn. You can see the earn says DragonX is sent to the buy and burn contract. So that's getting rid of DragonX. So this is a secret source. And remember, Hydra is also getting rid of DragonX, right? So Hydra is burning DragonX. We've got like 300 billion going through Hydra every day of TitanX, and it's going to burn DragonX. So now we've got another buy and burn. See what I mean? That's all layering it. So this everywhere. There's so much of it that this system is getting scarcer, while TitanX itself is going hyperinflationary, and you guys are here all at the right time and earning mad gains, and it's only going to get better from here. So TitanX sent to the buy and burn contract, Tink distributed farming rewards. This thing is amazing. So some really good little things there. Now, obviously, the yields at the moment are very different from each other. TitanX, of course, is the highest, 2,300%. DragonX there sitting at number 2, I think it is. DragonX Hydra, just under 2,000% there. What have we got there? Oh, so that's number 3, actually. Hyper TitanX is actually better at the moment, 2,000%. And just below that is DragonX Hydra. What do we got after that? We've got Rapti TitanX, and then we've got what do we got there? Vault TitanX, and then finally DragonX TitanX. Pretty crazy. Now the other thing is that TitanX is now, this Titan farm is now controlling 77% of the whole market, but they're different percentages, right? So DragonX Hydra is 95%, 89% for DragonX TitanX. Now remember, there are 2 DragonX pools here. The DragonX is getting burned on both of them, right? So you see the earn there, DragonX is sent to the buy and burn contract. See the earn here, DragonX is sent to the buy and burn contract. So DragonX is getting a lot of love. And of course, we saw that AwesomeX is coming out, right, within the next few hours. And that is also going to be burning DragonX and also sending the DragonX to the vault. TitanX to the vault. So that is going to be huge too. You can see how this is DragonX is still the king of the world, as it were. And it is the store of value, obviously, in the core 4. And so on. So pretty cool. Then, of course, cool stuff happening there. So obviously, people are having fun. You can go in there. You can take it out. You can go and do miners, or you can get in and do compounding. There's lots of different options that people have. There's no shortage of options. Let's quickly go to the Tink farm here. Have a look at the calculator. Now, obviously, if you look at the ROIs, this is the ROI, return on investment, or APR. You can see in there. But if you go in, you want to see compounding, or what they call APY, then you can use the compounding frequency here. So if you got none, that's just the APR there. You could do one day. If you do $1,000, still $1,000. So one day will earn you $63 worth of Tink. And of course, if you decide to compound, if you just do weekly for that, that's going to earn you $440. But if you are compounding your daily amount, so if you're compounding the $63 and the rate and the ROI stays the same, or APR stays the same, then you will end up getting $534, right? So if you're compounding daily, it's only, if you're not compounding, it's $440. If you're compounding daily, $532. So that compounding can play really well. Now, obviously, you got to do it at a reasonable scale. You will have fees you'll definitely want to do it on low gas fees, like under 10 Gwei, for example, if you can. You do get quite a lot of times during the day where that is the case at the moment. But we move into a bull market, moving into Bitcoin heading to 90K and Ethereum starts rallying. You know that it's going to get way more expensive. We've seen some of those signs recently. So just remember that. And of course, the time of the week is going to be very important. Typically Sundays and things like that in the US to get low Gwei. So things will be a little bit different. And it's going to be fun to see that play out too. Seeing TikTok price here is starting to rally again. Went below $10, now $10.83. And of course, that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, imagine when we get all these other non-TitanX ecosystems, maybe the SHIBs, maybe DAI, maybe Elon token or whatever it's going to be, and the community's coming over. It could be massive, right? So it's going to be fun to see that. And of course, the scaling. Watch this LP every day. This is in 2 days, $24 million. In 2 days, we did 20 million in 1 day, 24 million in 2 days. And of course, that's with a bit of a pullback in the old TitanX price. But imagine, watch out for this. This is going to grow massively. People are going to be talking about it everywhere. This thing is the best farm in the world, the latest in DeFi. It is really super smart. They've got the buy and burns. They've got everything in here. It is going to be crazy. Tink price, what's going to happen to that, especially after 10 days? What is going to happen to that after 10 days? Man, oh man, oh man. When 1 day's inflation is only 10%, what happens after 100 days when 1 day's inflation is only 1%? Man, this thing is going to go through the roof. Yeah, boy. Anyway, so that's a bit of a summary there. I think we've covered most of it. Now, there are a couple of buttons there. We've got My Farms Only, and so you can toggle on that to see the only farms that you're in. And there's a Harvest All button, so it will harvest all your farms. If you're in different peers here, it will harvest different ones there as well. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Now, we're going to talk more about stuff in strategy clubs. If you haven't joined up to that, definitely join up. The link's in the video description. Only $35 a month. Multi-chain opportunities. Not just TitanX, of course. We do cover other ones as well. Worth getting in there. We've got a meeting coming up, or a chat coming up in about, how many times? About 2 hours. What else there? We've got Archie in the house. Hey, Archie. Good to see you. Hi, all. The Don of Dons, as they say. And we got Refined as well. Hey, hey, hey. Good to see you, Refined. Looking good there with the green circle. Wookie says, just had 16.5 and 20,000 buy on Tink. Wow, that's pretty awesome. We're going to have a look at that. This TitanX stuff is unbelievable, says Archie. It is crazy. This is DeFi 3.0, folks. This is actually designed the way you want crypto to be designed. This is the holy grail. The evolutions of DeFi have emerged, and it looks like Jake Sharp and his band of merry men have Robin Hood. It's a Robin Hood analogy. It is green after all. Robin Hood with green. Then they have really cracked the nut here on this ecosystem within 1 year. Right, 1 year anniversary coming up on the 28th. So pretty exciting. Yeah, just at the right time for the bull market. All of it pretty planned out there. Mad gains coming. Yeah, boy, says Brennan. He's our TO guru, so he knows what he's talking about there. Very exciting. So lots of cool stuff. Let's have a quick look at some of the just the charts here at the moment. As you can see, AwesomeX coming up next. Element280 coming up there. The second of the big DeFis. Ouroboros has been delayed, and of course Felix is off the field at the moment. On the bench over here, we've got many more projects coming. But this is the kind of ones that we're expecting. Exciting times ahead. What's going to happen to this TitanX chart, because it is looking insane. It is looking insane. Let us have a look where we are at the moment. So we have 2 days in a row, and we have lost to zero. We've had to absorb some whale selling, a whole whale syndicate, but they're going to have to pay higher because this thing is about to go through the moon, and very excited about it. Even with the hot RSI, I think we're going to do some pretty crazy things. So let's have a look at the weeks ahead on the RSI. So week here, see how low we are on the weekly, way down at 29. So we could really have a hyper pump here. All the buy and bins are operating. New projects are launching. TitanX is disappearing. It's going to be a lot of fun to see this play out. Now, let's jump out of TitanX, have a look at the ecosystem. Just in the last hour, we've had Halia start to move up 11%. Tink token is moving as well. Someone said that there was big buys coming in there. So let's have a look at some of those. Here we are. Yeah, 20,000, 16,000 coming in from this account. So kind of cool. And yeah, the market is looking good. What else we got going? That is, sorry, let me jump around too much here. That is the play. What else are we looking at here? Volt is also, we're seeing some action on Volt, up 2.4%. Hydra Dragon X, also, obviously that farm looking pretty good. It's the third best performing farm at the moment. And of course, there's not much Hydra around, so the Hydra ratio has been going up through the moon. Let's have a look at that Hydra ratio to Dragon X. And yeah, that is coming in. So 1.62, man, this thing's really got strong. 1.64. We are coming into some more volume candles for Hydra. so there will be more supply in the market. So it's going to be interesting to see the volatility there. Yeah, and we obviously saw some sells in here today, the big red candle there. Yeah, we've got some of those coming up. You can see a lot of stuff on Mike Dean's dashboard. That is kind of some of the action there. Was anything else I was going to talk about in particular? Let's have a look here. No, I think that's it for the time being. And yeah, let's jump over to our last topic, and let's go over to Jake Sharp and see some of the exciting things he's been talking about. He is obviously the founder of TitanX. Hydra is still pulling in 350 billion TitanX per day, so obviously Hydra doing extremely well. Well over 20 trillion has been poured in there. TitanX, amazing stuff there. Mo's talking about the virtual conference, so the first year annual conference there is on the 26th, 27th of this month. So they're going to have all your favorite builders and streamers are going to be there, and of course the community as well. Vault is making waves. Yeah, over 7 million liquidity, 2 million in 24-hour volume, ranked number 2 on Dex Screener. So this is just the beginning. I think we're going to have more and more peers that take over, and more TitanX ecosystem projects take over the Ethereum top 10, top 20, top 30, and it's going to pretty much be TitanX ecosystem for the bull market on Ethereum, and that's what people are going to remember. They're going to look back and say, what was the bull market like for late 24, 2025? They're going to go, well, it was TitanX on Ethereum. And then they're going to say, well, not only did it take over Ethereum, but it also went omni-chain, and it took over all the chains, projects developed there as well. We know that the dude is talking about developing omni-chain on top of his one that he's launching tomorrow, Element280. So it's more and more it's going to happen. The devs are going to grow. We're going to have more dev teams, more projects. This thing's going omni-chain. We know that omni-chain X28 possibly launching in November could be where the rest of the TitanX that's remaining gets burned, including the stakes that people have in TitanX will be cashed in as well as any little mints that are left. If there's any, it's going to be crazy there. It is exciting times. Omni-chain is coming, and of course people will be building projects on other chains on the back of TitanX glory. It's going to be pretty fun there as well. So pretty fun stuff happening. It is really the juggernaut system on the second most valuable chain in the world, about to go multi-chain or omni-chain. It is really exciting to see where it's all heads. It is a big deal there, right? And of course, it's going to have a cross-pollination with Pulsechain. Obviously, Jake Sharp is going to obviously have a good time. And of course, we've also got Jack Levin out there on X1 chain. I think X1 chain is going to be amazing, and there's going to be some tie-ins there as well. They will have Eigen layer over on X1, so that's going to be huge too. So people will be able to stake their native tokens, presumably including TitanX over there as well, and earn X1 rewards or XN coins. There's going to be lots of crossovers, folks, and of course probably projects built on top of TitanX there. So massive opportunities coming up here. We know that big streamers are going to be coming, like Joe Parry, potentially other ones as well. They're probably coming, so that we're about to expand the audience dramatically. So really important. So what's the key takeaway? Time to get your TitanX and your rest of your bags unpacked, because this thing is really going to go moon. And you don't want to be crying because you missed when you had the opportunity to get in, right? Remember that? Titan Farms allows you to earn yield on hyperdeflationary assets. A really key takeaway there with all the buy and burns as well. Hyperdeflation, the real TitanX is about to wake up. Absolutely. This is the golden moment. This is phase 3, what we call phase 3 of hyperdeflation. That is really awesome. Like I said to you, we're pretty much down 3 trillion in the last 24 hours. That's been happening pretty much every day for the last 9 days. So very exciting there as well. And Jake Sharp's pretty excited about it too. You guys realize there are all billion-dollar or multi-billion-dollar assets right now. TitanX is punching way above its weight. Absolutely. So onwards and upwards for that. Yeah, really cool on some of the moon math here going on. So lots of cool stuff happening there. TitanX first anniversary coming up on the 26th and 7th. You don't want to miss that, of course. Kind of cool. We're going to repost that. $2.5 million of liquidity on Hydra. So all the liquidity is getting fattened up. All it's getting bigger and bigger. It allows bigger players to come in. So don't get too worried about having small liquidity and pumping the bags, because bigger liquidity allows bigger players to come in, and they can pump the bags at a bigger ratio. So don't worry about that. It's perfectly good. Liquidity just dropped to 49 trillion. It was 63 trillion only 5 days ago. That's TitanX supply. There's a 23% supply deflation in under 5 days. It's really starting to take off, folks. Really don't miss the train. And of course, you can join Strategy Club as well to get constant inflow of intel and stuff like that. So really cool. All right. So looking pretty good is everything over there. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. Let's quickly look at Eric and see what he's been saying as well. He's the founder of DragonX and Titan Farms. So let's have a look there. Buy the dip. Yeah, Morales is starting to pick it up there. So that's pretty awesome. And that looks like we won the vote there on DragonX. Funny enough, Hex was on there too. Obviously, we're Hex channel as well, but DragonX is the flavor of the moment, and it's going to be for many months to come. Vote for DragonX now, absolutely. The votes there. Let me jump through some of this. Let's scroll through that. Yeah. Now, Eric's also talked about expanding TitanX farms, as I said earlier. Any specific peers for doing so? Obviously, he's picked up on Brandon here, Rags to Riches, who's building Morpheus on TitanX. He's got DAI, USDC, and EHEX there. Titan Farms plus future community streams taken off. What non-farm TitanX protocol should we support in the Titan Farms to grow adoption? Now, that's growing adoption and volume and fees, right? So that think supply is fixed per day. And of course, as we move to 10 days, 100 days, it has a much smaller impact, the daily inflation. And so we've probably got a little bit, the most volatility is probably going to be in the next, 10 days. But those yields are so attractive. The buy and bins are so awesome. The education is really important. And we may see some surprises in that Titan Tink price. And so the yields could stay up for a long time. Not like previous farms where they go up and they just die real quick. They die over a couple of days. It's not going to be like that at all. So very, very fun to see where it goes. With the old Tink token. DragonX is set up for the next run. User adoption continues. Yeah, so even though DragonX got sold down, the ratio, went up to 27 on the God mode candle, came all the way down to like below 10. They got 9 something or 8.7 yesterday. The farms are actually burning. So even when it goes down, the Hydra is going to burn DragonX, and it's burning it at such a high rate, like 2-3 times more than it was before when people were repositioning for the farms and trying to get into the DragonX 2 farms there. And of course, the DragonX farms themselves are getting all those fees, and they're burning DragonX as well. 2 of them burning DragonX. So you can see how this all the magic is working, right? The magic is working there. These guys know what they're doing. DragonX users going up, DragonX supply going down. That's a key takeaway. And of course, it's doing through Hydra. It's doing through all the protocols of building on top of DragonX, like AwesomeX, which is launching today. And of course, Titan Farms as well. Man, if you're not picking up the secret sauce here, I can't not say it many times there. It is getting fun as well. People look at the chart, but they don't see the burning and building happening under the hood. That's right indeed. So very, very exciting here. This is showing you DragonX bought by the hour. See the accumulation there, just going up and up, and you can see the daily candles going up and up as well. It is pretty awesome. Hydra is a monster. Obviously, all that TitanX in there going to buy and burn. Not only Hydra, but burning DragonX. And also feeding the farm, right? Not this particular bunch, but the farm's getting fed with 20% as well to go staking and get more of that 369 payout. And the 369 payout, of course, of DragonX is going to be absolutely huge because it's going to burn, 44.5% of that $2.7 million can be used to burn DragonX, additionally to all the farms and everything else, Hydra, but also going to stake even more, 44.5% going to stake even more. So the magic is happening. This thing is wonderful. Now, I've spent an hour and 7 minutes on this first half. And let's get in some other comments that we got. Tinker's back over $11, says Wookie. Yeah, hey, look, it's going to surprise people. And as we get moved through to day 10 and then to day 100, really it's going to be a big impact, particularly day 10, 2 weeks. You're going to watch some magic there, I'm sure. I don't have enough TitanX's firefighter. Absolutely. That is the catchphrase. I don't have enough TitanX. And it is, you've really got a very small window now, to get yourself into this level that we are now. Otherwise, you're going to be paying at another level. Could be dramatically higher, 5 to 10x higher, etc. So just remember that. Join Strategy Club today and get more intel. What is it? Wiki says no one has enough TitanX. Absolutely. All right, so that is our first part of the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Man, an hour and 10 minutes. I was only going to do about 40 minutes. So we've definitely gone over half an hour, but there's so much happening. Hope you guys got some out of that. And if you want to join up the Strategy Club, the link is in the video description. And we're going to be having a general discussion on TitanX, going a bit deeper, including strategies and things like that in about an hour and 50 minutes. So that's in Strategy Club. Join up today. It is a private club, of course, multi-chain. All right, let's remove that. Bam. Hey, I got real big there. Oh, what happened? Let's get a bit smaller. And let's bring in the rest of, we're going to be talking about the crypto markets and Pulsechain. So that's the next topic. So let's bring that up. And let's stock market as well. I'm going to quickly cover that. Never fear. we are here, and let us pull that in. Bam. I got to change the screen there because I'm on the wrong one. Here we go, part 2 of the show. We're doing a fast show here because we've got about 10 minutes maybe. S&P 500 slips as hot inflation report dense rate cut outlook. I think it's a bit over dramatic, that title, to be honest. But anyway, we got Dow Jones is down a little bit, 57 points, quarter of a 49% to 42,454. S&P 500 is down 1/5%, 12 points to 5,780, and Nasdaq there is pretty much flat, just down slightly, 7 points there to 18,283. US dollar is pretty flat there at 102.68. But remember, that has actually recovered because it was, getting down to 100. So that's actually recovered. Looking at the commodities, let's have a see where they are. Obviously, with geopolitical risks in the Middle East and Russia, Ukraine, we've got West Texas is up 3.5%, and Brent oil is up 3.6%, sitting at $76, $79 respectively per barrel. Gold is up 1%, $25 to 2,651. Silver is up 2.3% at 72 cents to $31.40. And of course, if we do get a US dollar devaluation with interest rate cuts in time, we could see those hyper rally, those commodities. Now, CPI data, or Consumer Price Index data, this is one of the two main gauges of inflation, did come in hot and calling bets. Now, it's a bit over exaggeration. This is slightly above expectations, but it was actually lower. So the headline inflation in the US slowed on an annualized basis in September, but was still faster than expectations. Expectations is generally what matters more than the actual absolute amount often. So this is crazy. Providing the Federal Reserve with less emphasis to cut interest rates at the fast pace. So we'll see about that. But anyway, the Consumer Price Index is 0.2% in September, unchanged from August, but above the 0.1% expected. That took the annual pace of CPI or inflation in August to 2.4%, but that was actually down from August, which was 2.5%, but above expectations of 2.3%. So that's kind of where we are there. Core CPI, which strips out food and energy, is closely watched by the Fed, rose at 0.3%, taking the annual pace through to September to 3.3%, topping economists' forecast of 2.3%. Now, the quote is here, with a further emphasis back towards inflation, investors appear to be recalibrating their outlook for the rate cuts, reducing expectations for a thickened round of 50 basis points and sending a 10-year rate back to over 4%. As a flurry of Fed speakers continue, Atlanta Fed President Bostic's remarks were noteworthy. Bostic said Thursday he was open to downshift to a quarter rate cut, or may even support an unchanged decision. So hopefully we're going to stick with that quarter percent or 25 basis points, because that's heading us in the right direction, making cheaper money, and cheaper money means less returns in fixed assets and moving into risk assets like crypto. That's what we want, right? That's what we want, especially for the bull market. Just adds fuel to the fire, right? Particularly if the Fed decides to start printing money and the M2 supply gets bigger on the Fed balance sheet. That's what we want too, right? We want both of those mechanisms: lower interest rates, more money, and pump crypto, and we make mad gains during the bull market. And the only thing we have to do is be in the right asset class and, of course, take profits at the right time. Now, 3 weeks and 6 days away until the 7th of November, 2 days after the US election, and we've got the majority of the market, 78%, still thinking a 25 basis point cut is on the table. I like that. Only 20%, 1.5 is thinking no change. So there we go. December, of course, is the third rate cut, and we've got another 25 basis points on the cards here. That's the majority view. So it looks like we might have 25 for the end of the year. That's 50 basis points, and that would bring us to a total of 100 basis points, or equivalent of 1 percentage point. So we go down from 5.5 down to 4.5% on the federal funds rate. And, of course, that heads us in the right direction, right? Because people go, well, money earning a percentage less, I'm going to go in crypto and mad gains. That's pretty much it. All right, so, and we've got the vehicles now for it, right? Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF. So, yeah, that big money is going to start flowing. And, of course, if it flows into those assets, it's going to flow over into a TitanX and, of course, Pulsechain and other things like that, right? X1 and etc. So that's kind of the idea there. I like crypto generally. Let's have a look. BTC is down to 30%, 60,339. ETH was down, but it's recovering a little bit there. It's up 0.6%, $2,389. Just looking through some of the performers, everything is pretty much up except for Tron and Litecoin and BNB. They're down slightly, and Bitcoin dominates at 55%. Looking at the meme coins, let's have a look at that. Quickly, we've got a bit of movement in the meme coins. So we've got Dogecoin at 15.5 billion. Shiba's down 9.9. Now, this would be a good one for the Titan farms, arguably, because it's on Ethereum and it's got good volume. Pepe 3.9 billion. So yeah, everything's kind of starting to move up here. Dog with Hats up 22% for the week, 7% on the day. Popcat on Solana is up 33%, 10% today. So we've got some highlight performers there. SBX has come into big time, and so has Nero, up 83% for the week and 152%. So those have really been moving down slightly today. The other big mover here is Dog. This is the one we've been backing for the win, up 47% at the moment, 28% today. This is on the move. Now, they've been in talk with big tier 1 exchanges. They're the only ones in the top list here, as far as I know, that don't have one. And once they get it, it's going to be the number 1 meme coin, not only on Bitcoin, but it's going to try and target Dodge for the number 1 meme coin in the world during this bull market. And tier 1 exchange is going to be crucial for that to get the volume right. So that's kind of the play there. Now, that's different from TitanX, for example, because it's going to be more of about a volume play on centralized exchanges. But imagine TitanX getting that exposure as well on centralized exchanges too. So that's just another absolute mega pumpamental in the timeline there. I'm sure that people like Eric and other people are having talks about things like that. So it's definitely exciting to see where that goes. So that is pretty much the crypto market. Let's have a look at the total volumes with that. So we've got the crypto market cap 2.11 trillion is just down slightly there, 0.2%. The volumes at the moment are just under $70 billion, up 2.65% on crypto. And of course, we're in October. We've obviously had a little bit of a volatility, but I think, man, things are about to really go big time. Interest rates are going to help. Well, of course, another 50 basis points before the end of the year. And if Trump wins the US election, a pro-crypto Trump, and of course, gutting the SEC, Gary Gensler, and moving us towards, very clear regulations and no legislative creep there. They'd be bullish, and of course, bullish for Pulsechain as well. All right, so let's get into Pulsechain. Day 517, I think we're pretty much on, yeah. Pulsechain at the moment, quadruple 0499, down 3%. Pulsex at quadruple 0275, down 5%. The buy and burn still ticking up though, 1 trillion and 25 billion. 5.09% of the buy and burn is in place. Incentive token there at $2.14 is down 2.3%. And of course, the total supply of INC tokens is 44.5 million incentive tokens. And then, of course, Hex there at the moment had been the darling. It's just taken a bit of a consolidation, but it's actually moving back up again. It is up 2% at 1.43 cents. EHEX at 26/100th of a penny. Combined price EX and PX at 1.7 cents. So still looking pretty good after that big rally. Did what, a 5x or whatever. That is pretty awesome in 3 weeks. So Hex is back on the move. Now, Hex is going to be probably the one to lead. Now, remember that if you double the price of Pulsechain, you're going to double the value of the whole chain pretty much. And, of course, you got leverage plays on the other assets. It goes up. And, of course, remember, it goes up as a square value. So this is the pumpamental of Pulsechain. So don't snooze. Don't snooze as well. It's always good to have your bags pumped. And, of course, we know that the magic carpet ride is on the Pulsechain. It's different from the other chains, right? So Dog is different. They've got different pumpamentals, TitanX, etc. But they're all got good pumpamentals for the bull market. Now, let's quickly go to the stats here. We're going to have a quick look at this first. Gas prices, 275,000 beats, still pretty cheap on Pulsechain. 5 tenths, well, basically half a penny for Pulsex swap. It's 10 Gwei on Ethereum at the moment, so we're 1,700 times cheaper than Ethereum. Looking at the validators, let's have a quick look at that. Pulsechain is a full system stake fork of Ethereum, so it's a fully battle tested, and it's full DeFi. That's the most important thing. Just like Uniswap, drop trading of Hex, which is so bad because remember Hex and Richard Hart made the Uniswap DEX popular, and of course then they abandoned and betrayed Hex with the SEC. That's not true DeFi, right? Canceling stuff, that's not DeFi. That is CeFi, right? That's control. We don't need that. So 48,693 validators around the world validating Pulsechain. Very, very awesome. And the bridge at the moment is sitting at $111.3 million. I think we topped out, about 117, 18 million the other day. So just taking a bit of a breather after that big rally and just consolidating. So good time to pick up some more bags for the next move higher. And of course, the court case is coming up on the 31st. That is 20 days away. We're looking forward to that. We may not get a decision on it until 30 to 90 days afterwards. But of course, the Trump victory would be a very key as an insurance policy for that as well. But I think he's looking very strong. Richard Hart and their lawyers are the dream team. And we've seen the SEC lose a lot of cases that go against them, as well as the price recovery on Pulsechain. So got to be pretty bullish about that. Now, let's get to the rest of the charts here. Let's go to Hex derivatives. What do we got here? Hex derivatives. Acosa up 11%, so not bad there. Maxi is up 7%. That's the 15-year. That's going to be the super whale out in the future with the Hex Gold Whale. I think the Hex Gold whale is going to be a silent whale out there, honestly. I think Maxi's going to rule the world in the 2030s. So pretty cool. You got children with their Maxi Hex stakes. I think they're going to be pretty happy about that. Let's go to stablecoins. We've got no real move on the stablecoin, especially the speculative one. PDI there at 3,500 a penny. It's kind of chilled off at the moment. Look for more momentum when Pulsechain goes back on the move. And of course, influencer coins. Nothing really happening there at the moment. The only one I'm going to pull out here at the moment is SolidX. Remember, TitanX, the founder, Eric is the founder of TitanX, and Titan Farms. He's also going to be building this big crash game on SolidX. That's expected by the end of the year. So $13 to pick up SolidX at the moment. Remember, this is Randy Hilarski's friend, the Fire Whale. This thing could really rally. Remember, it went to $263 within 10 days. Keep a lookout for that. It's definitely a watcher as the old SolidX, maybe a silent accumulator there, maybe a little bit later in the year, maybe November. But once again, $13 at the moment, pretty good. So keep your eye out on that. Big shout out to Randy Hilarski with his note token as well, down 7% today. Now let's do overall here at the moment. Let's go overall for Pulsechain, just to wrap things up. We've got what happened there? We got $30 million of volume. Woohoo! That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. So good to see stuff happening there. And of course, most of the volume here is in Hex. Now, if we're talking back to Titan Farms, what volume would you want? You want big volume? Well, obviously Hex is big volume, $7.6 million, 2.7 million. Imagine how much Tink that would burn if you had some of that bridged over in the Tink farm. That'd be pretty interesting. And of course, we have got some of these assets on Ethereum that have been bridged over. We have contracts for that, so you could fatten those up, right? That could be a place. And what would that do? That would pump Hex even more, right? Because you're having stuff go over the bridge that gets locked over there, and it's not tradable over here. So see what I mean? It's a win-win. Did I just say that? Get me off this channel. I've been talking too long, an hour, 20 minutes. But that is win-win. FOMO is real. See the synergy between these chains? Omni-chain is coming as well. So it's going to be pretty fun. I know he was having a little issues with the Pulsechain for the Omni-chain, but I'm sure he's probably worked it out. That is the play at the moment. So some of these big volume coins could be absolutely massive over there. So bring it on. What else are we going to talk about? Some of the top performers today. We've got Free Soul, whatever that is. What else have we got? UFO is up at the moment. This Free Soul, I don't even know what that one is, just popped up there. It seems to have big liquidity, so I'm not sure what there. UFO there is up 7%. This is part of PDDC. PDC also up 4.5%. So this one is obviously one of the best projects on Pulsechain. And of course, we know that Moon King and others love this one. It is doing pretty well, isn't it? Look at that, pretty awesome. We've got another token here, X here with 50. So this look pretty new. 2 months old, actually, that one. And what's this free one? 11 days. So they're up for some reason. I'm not sure who's running those projects. Obviously, Hex is up there at number 7. 3.7%. Halgo as well, which also benefits from Hex there, is up 2.3%. Yeah, there we go. Those are some of the top protocols at the moment as Pulsechain just kind of consolidating where it is. So that is pretty much it on that one. That was my coverage, an hour and 22 minutes. We went 7 minutes over, but that's okay because it's also damn bullish. it's good to talk about bullish stuff. We waited a long time in the bear market, so it's time to FOMO. That's all we can say. Richie's in the house there. Hey, Richie. Thank you, Superman, as always, for everything. Hey, you're most welcome. Hey, we're sharing the journey together, as I say. It is a lot of fun. And what else there? Brennan says, fear and greed at 37. That says Brennan, fear and greed at 37. And, of course, rip, it's good. You have to give me the link to I haven't been on the fear and greed thing for a while. I guess, what one was that on? That was on one of the websites I was looking at. I can't remember. Rip, it's all good, says Wookie. We've got the real big sexy in the house there. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. I hope you guys are doing well. That is going to wrap up my show today. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow for, I guess, the final day of the stock market? Yeah, it'll be Friday. Friday's results of the stock market, and we'll keep you updated with Pulsechain, with TitanX, with everything else that's going on in crypto. Until then, take care, everybody. And, of course, you don't have enough TitanX. That is the saying of the day. You don't have enough Pulsechain. Get it while you can. It is going to be absolutely amazing for this bull market. And, of course, if you are in Strategy Club, we're going to be having a session on in about an hour and a half in Strategy Club and talking about strategies, and TitanX ecosystem is the focus of that session. So pretty cool. Actually, we might be talking a little bit about something else as well. So enjoy. It was on the June Dogburn website. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. All right. Take care, everybody. And don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Now, share the channel around. Share the channel around and join Discord. That's the place to be. Take care and bye for now. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Woohoo. Rock on. Rock on.